Hello, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Ongakadu, the podcast where three friends come together and break down what's new in the Japanese music industry. This is the podcast for the week of July 3rd, 2020. I'm your host, Ken, and with me we have Gray.
What's happening, dudes?
And Luna.
Hey everyone! Happy holiday, in a way, if
Woot
you're in the
woot.
US. I don't know if I should say that if it's a real holiday or not, but in a way it is.
I mean, 4th of July is a holiday. If it was
It
in the
is a
middle of the
holiday.
week, you don't work that day. Any day you don't work is a holiday.
True, well, it's on a Saturday this year, so by the time this is
Yeah.
out, it's already over, but I hope everyone had a great weekend.
Yeah.
And happy belated Canada Day, also.
Woot woot. Shout out to our
Woohoo!
hat
And
friends.
Bastille Day for France, because that's also coming up.
Ooh, ooh la la. But how have we been? What have we been listening to? Let's start with you, Gray, since we missed you last week.
Yeah, I missed you guys. I really, really wanted to be on, but unfortunately, just things didn't pan out. But it's been an exciting and interesting week, to say the least. I have been listening to LOL's latest single, "Work It Out." That song is, oh my God, that song is so good. That is their best song that they've had in a long, long time. I absolutely adore this song. I've had it on repeat for the past 3 days, and it has just been a real welcomed place in my life. It's just because it's a nice uplifting song in dark times, and that's kind of what my soul needed. And so it's been a real pleasure to listen to. I have also been listening to the usuals, High Five and Arashi, because I'm working on the thing at the end of the year. Really excited for that, and just want to go ahead and get a head start on that. I have also been listening to a little bit of Rude Alpha, because it is summer and his beats do give me that summer vibe feel to it, and so I really just like listening to him a little bit. And I've been listening to this week's MC, which we will get to. And let's see, have I covered all the bases? I did listen to Happiness by Pentagon earlier today, which, if you guys didn't listen to it last year, go check that out. Great song, fun summer tune to listen to. It's it's I think that's about it. I've been listening to the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 soundtrack. As of today, I've officially beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so hooray, I can finally start something else. But that about covers it. What have you been listening to, Luna?
So I've been listening to Yonezu Kenshi. His bootleg album is fantastic, and I remember listening to it when it released, but that's been a couple years, so I'm revisiting it and love it on Apple Music if you guys haven't checked it out. Also been listening to RMC for the last couple weeks and still love her. She has some great summer beats. We'll talk about her later. And also got some Cream on my playlist for Banana, because that is one of my summer tunes, along with their MVP song, and their whole Love and Party album is great. And some Millet. I still got Eyes on my playlist. It is fantastic. Some Aimyon, some Juju, and some A-Witch. And a little bit of Kodakumi in there, as she has a summer remix album that is fantastic, and I have to listen to it every summer to get me in the groove. What about you, Ken? What have you been listening to?
So I've been listening to a various amount of things. So first off, I was listening to Ditzy Sunfist because of the announcement that they made a couple weeks back for the new EP that they're going to be doing. I've been also listening to Arashi, but that's just personal stuff. Besides that, I've been listening to a little bit of AAA. I've been going back to them time to time, but not too much. After that, I've been listening to the new single by Kojoe. He's a Japanese rapper called Bye Girl. That was really good. There was another band I was listening to called I Saw You Yesterday with their track Float Away, which was also really, really good. I've been listening to also a little bit of Lisa with Garenge. I've been probably helping that numbers up for some strange reason. After that, nothing too much. Just random things here and there. But yeah. Besides that, let's continue on to the news here. And I'm just going to double up on the Odyssey news because we're here already with it. And First off is they talked about the release for their upcoming track Kite, which will be released on July 29th. If you guys don't remember this was the track that they performed on the Kohoaka Uta Gakusen and was written and composed by Kenshi Yonezu and was originally chose to become the NHK 2020 song. I wonder if they're going to continue that because this was the song that was supposed to probably be attached to the Olympics with, but because that's not happening this year, I wonder what's going to happen.
That would be interesting if they had to do a new song, but I don't know. They could be like, well, the old song that we have is just as good, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it would be very, very interesting. Regardless, they will come out with 3 editions, which you can check out on our site. And they also announced that they were going to be dropping a updated Reborn version, the new part of their Reborn series, for their track Face Down, which was really good. I really did like Face Down when it was originally released. And it was released this past week on June 26th across all digital streaming platforms. And what's very interesting this time around, it is going to be remade by the world-renowned composer BloodPop. If you guys don't know who he is, he actually worked with Lady Gaga and a bunch of other Western music people. So like Lady Gaga, I think Justin Bieber was one of the artists that he worked with also. So he was one of the main driving factors of Lady Gaga's latest album. So I know our editor was going crazy when she heard that news. But yeah. You can check out all the information about that on our site. But yeah. And then continuing on up to the 5-member visual kei band, Harlequin announced that they will be releasing a brand new album titled The Laughing Man on August 19th. This will be the latest release done by the group since their track Utopia back in June of 2016 and will be their 3rd album overall. You can check out more information about that on our site along with the music video for Okori on our site as well. And then to celebrate the release of their July 2nd release, The Blue Herb dropped the music video for their track Ballad no Watashi Shirani on their YouTube channel. Set to be a part of the upcoming album 2020, this release was the latest track done by the unit since their track ING and Sorekara back in October of 2019. And you can check out more information about this on our site. It's actually really, really good, and I was really debating on picking this as a physical release, so you can check out more information about that on our site. And continuing on up to the lovely music icon, Kodakumi announced that she will be releasing a brand new track, Puff, across all digital music streaming platforms this past week on June 26th. This was part 1 of her 20th year anniversary and will be the latest music release done by Koda since her Kodakumi Live tour, Relive Black Cherry Live album back in March, and will be the first single release of 2020. You can check out more information about this on our site, and it's made available on Apple Music and Spotify.
It's really, really good. I freaking love Puff. I already got it on play on Apple Music. And by the way, her RE Live, Japanesque, and Black Cherry are amazing. I finally got a chance to watch them, and oh my god. If you haven't checked out Koda, she knows how to put on a live. Highly recommended, and I'm so happy it's her 20th year. I can't wait to see what she has in store for everyone.
All right, moving on up to our next article. It's summer, and it's not going to be summer until Niji no Conquistador drops their summer song. So, girl group Niji no Conquistador have revealed that they are going to be dropping their latest summer single titled Summer Toha Kimi to Watashi Nari. It is set to come out on September 16th. It's actually going to be only released in 2 editions this year, which I thought was kind of strange, but I guess with everything going on, they didn't want to do like they did last year. Because last year they had an edition that was each color of the rainbow. So this year it's just a standard and a limited edition, and the limited edition comes with a bonus DVD. So if you're a fan of them, you can definitely check it out. Even though the physical edition doesn't come out all the way till September, the song is already live on YouTube, so you can definitely check that out. It is posted in the article, and yeah, that's about it. All right, moving on up to our next article, we're going to be talking about 2-member hip-hop group Hilcrum, as they have announced they're going to be dropping their 9th album, titled The MC, and it's set to drop on August 12th. The new album is based on the origin and attitude of Hilcrum. It is going to be released in 2 editions, standard and limited. The limited edition is going to come with a bonus DVD. We have the psychedelic artwork in the article, so you can definitely check that out, along with a music video. So if you've never heard of Hilcrum and you want to get a taste or idea of their music, you can definitely check out their song Jujutsu Eye, which is in the article.
But yeah, with that, we're continuing on up to our music corner. And this week, you have the reins, Luna. So why don't you introduce us to your artist?
All right, so I chose the Japanese reggae R&B vocalist Kira. She is not only just a vocalist, but she is also a composer and a producer. She is from the city of Osaka. She actually got her start in the music industry singing at Macau Casino, and she was the first Japanese vocalist to actually participate in a show and made a huge impression on them with her husky vocals, unique outfits, relatable lyrics, and she had a lot of African American inspired music style as well. So all of this really got her noticed and helped her make her major debut with her single Narishiko Soul in 2014. So Narishiko Soul was written, composed, and produced by Kira herself, which is absolutely amazing for a debut single to be done all by herself. And this is a very reggae track, and you hear all her inspiration she has in this one. So the following year, she actually released her first full-length album, Listener Killer, which included a special remix of her first single, Narishiko Soul, featuring the popular reggae vocalist Minmi. And having Minmi in there was amazing because Minmi is a big inspiration in the R&B genre. So Kira teaming up with her is phenomenal. And so this remix became a huge success and was featured as a power play in over 16 radio stations nationwide. And thereon, Kira went to release her first mini album titled Survive in 2017, followed by her second studio album, Naked, in 2018. Naked went on to become the #1 on iTunes Japan R&B charts, which is great for her, and seeing her become that after being in the music industry for quite some time. And her husky and powerful vocals, mixture of Japanese and English, inspiring and relatable lyrics, plus her unique style, captivates audiences, including myself. That is, her vocals were one of the reasons that drew me into her, as I saw Bye Bye Boy randomly on YouTube. It was recommended to me by YouTube. And it was her vocals and the composition of that song that drew me in. And thereon, I went to listen to Spacey Love, which is freaking fantastic. And I started listening to her other songs after that. And her vocals drew me in, as she has an extremely unique voice. And I've never heard anything like it. And not to mention, her lyrics are so easy, relatable. And anyone can pretty much relate to them. And you can hear that in her latest tracks, like Lovin' You, and even Bye Bye Boy and stuff like that. So she was just someone who hit me to heart and pulled me in immediately. So, and here we'll talk about a couple of her most memorable tracks. So these are ones that, to me, her music is mainly reggae R&B fused, and her vocals help create these memorable ones. So in her song Carry Your Bag, you can hear her emotions come out, as it is an extremely powerful song that talks about packing up your dreams and going on a journey. And you can tell this was on her first album, so you can imagine this is something she felt, that she was going on a journey to make her dreams come true, which it's amazing she did. And so I feel like this song can reach to anyone who's trying to follow their dreams and make it happen. And usually to do that, you have to leave what you're doing, and it can be a very emotional experience. I feel like Carry Your Bag encompasses that, and she showcases it perfectly. In Spacey Love, I absolutely love the upbeat techno dancehall vibe this gives you. And that chorus, because it starts off slow, and when you get right into that chorus, the track bumps up and it gets you hooked, you're pumped up, and you just want to get up and dance. And you can see that in the music video too. And I love the music video for the song. It is adorable. But this is one that I always sing and dance to, and I cannot get enough of it. And her major debut one, which she talked about, Nadish Ko Soul, along with many others such as Listener Killer, Jealousy, and Lucky Boy, all have a heavy reggae vibe to it, and her vocals flow amazing with it. I mean, she fits perfectly to that type of vocal speed and just what she's encompassing and not genre. And I think that's one of the other reasons she drew me in, is to me her voice just screams reggae R&B, and I love that because she can make it fit. So her track Bye Bye Boy, like I said, is the one that got me hooked, and it was due to her husky vocals that flowed perfectly with the composition. It had a catchy chorus, and just the beats of it get stuck in your head, and it is amazing. And this was one of my favorite tracks of that year, and it's still one of my favorite tracks to this day. And every summer I always have to listen to it because it is a perfect summer tune. And her ballads, let me tell you, she has amazing vocal skills, and they come out when you listen to ones like Ice Cream Harmony, Kara Omoi, Honesty, and there's so many more. And she has a powerful voice that is on point, and she has great control over that. And you can hear that and hear the emotions in every bit of it. And I just love it. And her newest track, Lovin' You, is a mid-tempo R&B reggae fusion, and it has a super catchy chorus, very relatable lyrics. Not to mention, it was composed by the same person who did Bye Bye Boy, so it gives off a little bit of the Bye Bye Boy vibe, except it is a lot more mid-tempo than Bye Bye Boy. And I love Lovin' You. It has been on repeat since it came out on the streaming platforms, and I cannot get enough of it. So currently, Kira has 2 studio albums, mini album, and 17 digital singles. All her albums are currently available for purchase on CD Japan and Yes Asia. Several of her albums and singles are also available on digital platforms such as Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, iTunes, etc. I will say Only Naked is available on the streaming ones. Listener Killer or Survive are not. I'm not exactly sure why. In the US, they are not. I will specify in Japan and Europe, they are available for streaming. Just some reason the United States and possibly Canada, they are not. You can also stay up to date with all her news and info on her official website, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube channel, which you can find on our website, and you can check out her latest music video posted as well. But I am curious to hear what you two thought of her, as she is has a very unique vocal style, and I know we don't usually get into the reggae as much as we do R&B, so I'm very interested in hearing what you guys have to say.
So for her, it's very interesting. It was very interesting for her to get into that. The reggae music is coming from a person that listens to reggae music in the background because of where I'm at. It brought me back to that, and as a person that doesn't really have an acquired taste for reggae music, it was a little bit off-putting at times, but she does flare it up quite a bit. You are right, she does have a very unique vocal style, so that was the only thing that kind of brought me into the mix, and it took a while for me to kind of get with her, because Listener Killer wasn't in my mind, because she was trying to establish herself. It took me a while to kind of get used to what she was trying to say. But Survivor was probably one of the best things I have ever heard in a long time. So that kind of brought me into what her style is. And I'm looking forward to what she has to bring for the music industry from here on. So it was interesting to kind of hear off of that.
Yeah, she definitely has a very unique vocal stylings. It took me a while to get used to it. She's very much an acquired taste when it comes to her vocals, and that's not a bad thing or a critique or anything like that. It's just a fact. But she definitely has some very interesting songs. She is very gifted, especially like the team that works around her do a good job of building song compositions that do complement her style. And I'm not really a reggae listener, so it was nice to hear something a little different than what we normally listen to. Her song "Bye Bye Boy" is really fantastic. That was a very catchy song, very notable, kind of grabs your attention. The song that really stood out to me was Jet Coaster. There's two other words to that, but Jet Coaster is what you need to know. It is a really good song. It's more of a rock flavor to it, and I really, really dug that. I also thought her song "Lucky Boy" was mildly funny, so it's nice to see that she has a mild sense of humor, because that song is very tongue in cheek, but the guy's not lucky. Let's just put it that way. So, it does show that she has personality and a sense of humor, and that is definitely something that she can play into. And she does. She has a lot of really good stuff. Her song #Harder. It is a rap song, and she is not a traditional rapper by any means. And I think she actually does a pretty solid job in that song. I think she needs to work on her rapping a little bit, but for a girl that normally doesn't rap, I felt like she did a pretty solid job in that song. But she also has like some really good songs. Her latest song, "Everything," is pretty solid. And the two guest rappers that she has come in to help her with that song, really good stuff, really good work. I really enjoyed that song. "Loving You" is pretty solid. "Perfect Love" was pretty good. So, she has a lot of pretty solid stuff. You just, like I said, you just got to get used to her vocal work. I think that's really the biggest thing. I think maybe some people might listen to it and get turned off. So just stick with it, and once you get used to her vocal style, it'll be worth the struggle.
And I'd probably recommend people starting with Naked and Bye Bye Boy, as that gives you a good feel of what she is now, and then backtracking and do Survivor and then Listener Killer. I think you'll get more used to her unique vocal style that way. For those who are interested in checking her out, I started with Bye Bye Boy, and then I listened to Spacey Love, and I ended up blind buying Survive because it was fantastic. And then I bought Naked, and then I finally was able to purchase Listener Killer, which took more time than it should have. But I will say she does have a very unique voice that isn't for everyone. However, I recommend everyone giving her a shot. And I'm really happy to hear that you two found something very unique about her and found some songs you enjoyed.
Yeah, oh yeah. She was a lot of fun to listen to. It's fun to go out of your comfort zone. It's fun to return to your comfort zone. So as long as you're waffling back and forth, you can't go wrong with that. Also, fun fact, if you're listening, if you don't pay any attention to the descriptions, the current opening is Spacey Love by Kira. So if you like the opening, then you'll be a good chance you'll like her music.
Yes, I had to go with that one. It's been stuck in my head for quite some time, and I just love that track so much. And I was watching the music video again. It's just such a amazing song. So I love that, just how it was composed and how it goes from slow to more upbeat, and just everything she emphasizes in it.
But yeah, I want to say thank you for introducing us to her, and I can't wait to see her career blossom even more. So
thank you, Luna. It was a lot of fun listening to her.
You're welcome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed her, and I look forward to it as well in her future releases.
Yes, that's for darn sure. But with that, let's continue on to the Oricon here, and it was interesting. We're slowly getting to that, but I think it doesn't really count because all big releases have been kind of hit week after week.
Yeah.
So it's all that pent up rage that's been going on through the crisis. It's finally all dropping out.
Yeah, I think there was a big release this week too that we'll be talking about next week, because I think I saw something pretty notable on the daily singles.
But yeah, with that, let's continue on to the Oricon here, and let's go on to number 10, and that is "Pretender" by Official Hige Dandizo. Please, for the love of God, bump out.
I've been saying this for like 6-7 months. I like the song. I do. I want it to go away so we can talk about other stuff. because it gets exhausting to talk about the song every week.
Knowing our luck, it won't drop up and it'll go up gray.
That is our luck. That is our luck.
But yeah, this week it sold a lovely 12,769 points. Going on up to number 9, it is Hoshikage no Yell by Green. So it's good to see them back up. It's because the physical release for this track was finally released. So it's good to see them back up here.
Yeah, this was a good song too. I thought it was pretty solid, so
I
nice
did
to
too.
see
I'm
these
glad
guys on
to.
here.
Same. Glad to see him back up on here.
Yes, that's for darn sure. But yeah, this week it sold a lovely 12,887 points. Continuing on up to number 8, it is Gorenge by Lisa. So not much we can say here. It's because Yaiba has been, well, the Blu-ray, the physical release for the Blu-ray just dropped this past week, I think. That's the only reason
Yes,
why.
it did.
Yeah.
It did. And it's doing very well. I still need to get my copy. It's just a little pricey.
Also the news about, I know this is more of America, but they've announced today like Funimation and Aniplex are going to be streaming the movie, so that could also be affecting some of the numbers.
It won't affect this week's number. It'll affect next
Oh,
week's number.
that's true.
So it's not gonna do anything now, but it'll show up if it shows up again next week. Then we'll know why for the most part. But regardless, this week it sold a lovely 16,854 points, and going on up to number 7, it is the lovely Hadaka no Kokoro once again by Anyo. So it's there again. So continuing from last week. So it's good if this is what the old traditional Aimyon would be doing. Hopefully she sticks around for a couple more weeks to a month.
It's nice to see her latest single sticking around, have that staying power. Like, she's had a couple of singles come out and they do really good initially, but then they kind of die off. And it's funny because when she has a new single come out, typically you'll see Marigold pop up. And it was always really funny because Marigold would still be on the charts and the newest thing would eventually fall off the charts. So it's nice to see that she has another song come out that seems to be resonating with people. So hopefully this one will stick around a little longer.
Yeah, it was on the top 20s this time around, Marigold, but I think it was sticking around from last week too. So regardless, Hadaka no Kokoro sold a lovely 21,461 points. And continuing on up to number 6, it is Kusui by Eito. They have been kind of working very well, and he's keeping to that number 6 rank very, very much so. So congratulations on Eito there. He's one of the artists, along with Yasobi, kind of looking out with this whole crisis and stay-at-home movement that's been going on. So good on them. But yeah. This week they sold a lovely 26,148 points, and going on up to number 5, it is Yoru ni Kakeru by Yasobi. Once again, nothing we can say more to this. The numbers are kind of getting better, so it's doing well regardless.
Wanted to say real quick, it is nice to see that as the economy is coming up and these numbers are coming up, that Ito and Yasobi, their numbers are rising up too. So it does show that their songs really resonated with people and really, affected and touched people. So they were able to, even though, because I was expecting as things open back up or whatnot, that they would just fall off because, making way for new things. But week after week, we just see their numbers going up, and I think that's a very positive thing, and is really nice to see.
No, but I mean, regardless, these numbers are streaming. So I mean, I don't know if their sales numbers are going up, but their notoriety is going up. That's the only thing I would say there.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, regardless, Yoru ni Kakeru sold a lovely 30,796 points, and continuing on up to our first new track of this week, it is Smile by 2020. So, this is very interesting. So, 2020 is pretty much all of Johnny's association coming together to sing this one song. 75 members for this one song. It's very interesting how this song was. And it is a cheer song for the ongoing crisis that is going on, all the sales for this particular song is going to go towards helping people kind of get back on their feet with that. This and possibly the song for next week, we'll probably talk more about that too, will be going all to charity. So that's good for them to kind of start with this. I thought this was a really good track. It shows, it outlines a lot of what Johnny's is really good for, and that is their vocal work. So what did you guys think about this track?
So I loved it. I agree with you for it really shows off their vocal work, and it does. And not to mention just how good their vocals are, but how all these members can all harmonize together so well. And I mean, they all sound fantastic. And it's just such a nice, uplifting song. And I think that's one of the reasons I just fell in love with it.
Yeah, this song was absolutely fantastic in every way. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's really good. You really get to see, how these guys have really come up in the ranks to show, that they got talent. They're not there for no reason. They've earned, their ability to just really just pump out these great songs. And Smile is it's got a great melody to it. You can tell it was a team production, and it just shines through in the song, and it's just absolutely wonderful and fantastic, and it's nice to see everyone coming together and doing this. I'm really happy for it.
Yes. But with that, Smile this week, So They Lovely, 31,584 points. And continuing on up to number 3, it is Umbrella / Dropout by Sekai no Owari. So this was very interesting. So this is the physical release of this single. This was released several months back digitally. I believe Umbrella was originally released back in March and Dropout like a month or two later, if I remember my news correctly. But this is the physical release of this track, and it was alright. I mean, it plays to the masses, so to speak, of what I think Sekai no Owari is. They're not doing anything really moving, I think, in my personal opinion for this. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for that, but when I think of Sekai no Owari, I think of Dragonfly and all their other great songs, and this wasn't doing it for me, personally. But what do you guys feel about this track?
So, for Sekai no Owari, I would say I like Dropout, but I did not care for Umbrella as much. Umbrella felt too soft-spoken and light compared to their usual ones, but I enjoyed Dropout despite it still being out of the norm from them, but I like that techno-ish beat to it, and it wasn't all English, which was no surprise there for me. But I prefer Dropout to Umbrella. Umbrella was just, I felt like it was lacking something.
Yeah, I agree with Luna. I think Luna's pretty much hit the nail on the head, but it's just, Umbrella was just okay. I didn't think it stood out. They have better songs. I think Dropout is more interesting. It's more unique. The decision to do the song in English I thought was pretty interesting, and they did a pretty solid job with that song. It has a more of an interesting melody to it, and they're not gonna rewrite the playbooks or anything like that. But it's a pretty decent song, and that's all you can expect.
Yeah, that's for darn sure. Like it was a decent release, but it wasn't like their chart-topping hits that they were doing when they were first starting out. But that's just how the industry goes, yeah.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's like I enjoy Sekai no Owari's older stuff, and you can tell how this release differentiates between a song like Antihero or some of their other older tracks. And hearing this and comparing that to older ones, it's such a big jump. And nothing on this one. I mean, it was a decent release, but it still to me was lacking a little bit of Sekai no Owari from back then.
Yeah, that's for darn sure. But yeah, Umbrella / Dropout sold a lovely 42,019 points. Going out to number 2, it is Yasoku no Soda by Tokenrabu Danshi. It's very interesting with this release, I would say this much, because we get to see a full music video, which is very rare for us, because I guess due to the fact that they're not doing any stage performances, they were just like, well, we should do the music video as the costume characters. So it's very interesting to see that. It was a decent release, and it shows me the reason why Token Ramu does very, very well. So what do you guys think about this release?
I loved the song. I thought it was one of their best. It was great. I mean, all the guys had great vocals. The composition was fantastic. And the music video was very interesting. But I wasn't watching it. I only watched the music video once, but I listened to the track before I watched the video. So I did it twice. But I thought the song was brilliant. And I know some of these are hit or miss for me, for a lot of the husbandos. But this was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, this is easily their best song yet. And it was really nice to actually see the actors, because typically when they pop up on the Oricon, yeah, I think we're watching like an anime version of these guys. So to actually see them in costume live action was really nice. The guy with the golden contact lenses freaked me out a little bit because that just looks really unnatural. But it was a really, really good song. I really enjoyed the performances. I felt like the melody came together really well, and I just it's a lot of fun. And I really wish like it had them playing more with their swords. Like honestly, I loved it when they would be like standing in the black and they would swing their weapons around. I thought that was like the funner aspects of the song, but
yeah, I think it's mostly because they do that for the live performance.
Yeah. But
yeah,
still,
it's unfortunate that they didn't perform it, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, well, and when they're all on that stage, it's not practical for them to be swinging around those weapons.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially when people have like spears that are like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, like I know, like one dude had a naginata, and I'm like, it was really cool though when he would swing that thing around. But it's still like it's a pretty fun music video, and even the dance choreography I thought was pretty solid stuff. So,
Oh yeah, their choreography was great.
yeah. I mean, obviously, Exile is going to beat them, but for what it is, I felt like it was pretty good work. So.
For sword choreography, that's probably one of the best.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, very much so. That is indeed true.
But yeah, regardless, this week Yasugu no Sora sold a lovely 88,065 points, and going on up to number 1 here, it is Shoko by Johnny's West. So I'll take it to our resident Johnny's Jr. lover here.
Whoop, whoop, that's me.
How did you feel about this song? Because personally, I thought it was all right. I mean, the way that we saw it was very interesting. Let's just say this much, because of how Japan is going with their stay-at-home movement and everything. Doing these music stage shows have been something to watch as of late. It's so entertaining because some of these people go from either they do it to like a 7 because they're like there's not much people there, or they ramp it up to like 15 because they gotta be like everyone has to feel this, not just the people at home, or not just the people filming. The people at home have to feel the energy coming off it, and I feel that Johnny's West did this with Shoko.
They did so much, and I honestly, like, the performance that I watched found it off-putting. I had to watch a couple of performances in order to really get my feelings on the song, because I was like, I'm liking the song, but there's aspects of this performance I'm not really digging, so I had to do some extra research. But this song is really good. It's got a really good melody to it. These boys are great. Their vocal work is fantastic, and I think they knock it out of the park, and they do a stellar job. Even if the stage shows are a little hammed up, because, well, I don't know, little's not the right word. They really go that extra step in the stage performances that I've seen. But I understand why, and I didn't understand when I was watching it, but thankfully Ken set me on the right path, and I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense now. So Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I think these guys are great, and it's always nice to see these guys up here. So yeah, this is another good one for them.
So I love the song, and I even though, like, even regarding their performances, I understand why they gave the 110%, and with a lot of cheese, due to to hype up everyone at home who's stuck there. But this is one of my favorite Johnny's West songs that I've heard. It is fantastic. There's so much energy in it. It is such an uplifting track, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was very interesting. Johnny's West particularly showed up on the chart twice this week because they were part of 2020. So they kind of outdone themselves very much so with both releases. And like I said, it's good to see Johnny's West, and it's good to see how the next generation of Johnny's Juniors are going to take up the mantle that Odyssey is going to pretty much leave with for the next year or so. But it's good to see that the Johnny style is still very much alive. Regardless, Shoko sold a lovely 212,064 points. I should say copies because it's only physical release only. But with
That's
that,
amazing.
Yeah, I know. It's
I'm
Johnny's
so
for you,
glad.
man. It's Johnny's, man.
I'm so glad that they're bringing up the numbers with in all physical. Think about the people who bought this off Amazon Japan, and all the places to get their copies. It's amazing.
Yes, that's for darn sure. But with that, let's continue on to the albums here real fast. We got Ceremony by King New. We got Tamura Yukari with Candy Tough. She is a very good seiyuu, so I'm very happy for her.
She is. I love her. I'm so glad to see her on here.
35 years and 35 songs done by Tube, which is really good. And this is part 1, and then part 2 is taking up number 7. We got Go Nama Stray Kids Volume 1, which is the Korean mini album by Stray Kids. Mirage Best complete Mirage's second songs. I guess it's their best of album. Just go to school, little girls, for the love of God. And number 4, it is Woneric? How would you say that? Woneric?
Oneric?
Woneric Diary, third mini album by iZone. This is their third mini Korean album.
The IZ*ONE names are so weird.
This was on here last week, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it stayed
It's
on
still
there.
doing good.
So I'm happy for this breakthrough for Poppin' Party. Got to number 3. They are the top Japanese sold album this past week. They sold more on the Japanese Billboard because Billboard takes the international numbers in effect also. So it's just good because Breakthrough is their second album done by Poppin' Party, so good for them. This is what's very interesting about this release, though. It included a music video that they're starting to trust the live action versions compared to the CG animation, which I don't really mind, but it still throws me off that they did it with Poppin' Party first and not their big gun Rosalia, because they're not going to do it for Rosalia also, which is also kind of weird because Era, which is Reza Sulin's album, is going to feature them as live action on the cover as well. So it's very, very interesting. They're making Rosalia do so many things, even though that's their breadwinner. Regardless, More and More by Twice at number 2. And this is also another word that I always had trouble with. It is Hungary? Hangagari? Hangare by 17, taking the number 1 chart there. So, I wanted to talk about this for a little bit because they actually broke a very big record with this release. So with this release, this is the third consecutive release by 17 to reach number 1, making them one of the only 3 artists to have done so beforehand, which is really interesting. The last record holder for this was Basically Rollers in 1977. And the first one to have done it was Simon and Garfunkel back in 1971.
Wow, that is amazing. Go 17. That is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's very interesting to see that. And, we hoped we congratulate them on this monumentous occasion because it shows how the Korean wave is doing very, very much so in Japan again. So, but with that, I want to say thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Ongaku Ryu. You can find us at all the usual social media sites at Twitter and Instagram at Ongaku Ryu. You can find us our website at ongakuryu.com. You can follow our affiliates. Koryu Hunter, he is a Twitch streamer and our dear friend. You can find him at twitch.tv/KoryuHunter, KYORYUHUNTER. You can also find our other affiliate, Timbertaff. He is a Twitch streamer in his own right, and you can find him at twitch.tv/Timbertaff, TIMBERTFT. You can also follow your sister, Luna Rose, who is doing all the lovely things.
Monster Hunter, some art streaming, and she recently got a Nintendo Switch, so I'm thinking she'll be streaming some Animal Crossing soon.
All right, get them apples. But yeah, and you can follow her at twitch.tv/RainstarKitty, RAINSTARKITTY. And lastly, you can follow our other affiliate, Fangirl Has No Name. She is a very good Twitch streamer who does all the lovely Zelda stuff. And you can follow her at twitch.tv/Fangirl Has No Name. FANGIRLHASNONAME. And you can also follow the podcast that I do with Fangirl, Kyo, and Timber called Podosaurus. It is interesting, to say the least. We talked about Donkey Kong 64, and because of that, Kyo decided to stream Donkey Kong 64.
He's been tweeting about Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, because his opinions probably changed about it because him and Fangirl were ragging on it because Timber kept on confusing Donkey Kong 64 with Banjo and Kazooie, and he kept on switching the names. I think Timber's just confused in general. He kept on switching Naughty Dog and Insomniac games with certain developing games too, so we got on his case about that. But if you want to hear us talk about the gaming scene, you can check it out. Look up Koryu Hunter on all podcast media services. You can find it there. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at OTYCan1. You can find Renfer at Renford. And where can we find you, Gray?
You can find me on Twitter at Ongaku Gray, where I tweet about what I'm playing, what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, all that fun jazz. So follow me there.
And you, Luna?
You can follow me on Letterboxd, my anime list, Anime Planet, and Twitter at LunaMaria87. And you can follow me on Instagram as Nerdy Collector Luna.
But yeah, once again, I want to say thank you very much for listening to this week's episode of Ongaku Ryu. I'm your host, Ken, saying thank you very much, and have a great day. Aloha.
All right, I hope everyone had a great time listening to us, and have a great rest of your week. And thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time. Ja mata ne.
And this is great. You guys have a good weekend. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.